Hi everyone, welcome to Nareen's Life with MS. This is Nareen and it's time for a Super Sunday. So this Super Sunday, I just wanted to go over the week. Pretty much, you know, um, I really liked Stranger Things 5. Actually, something funny did happen. So yesterday, we finished watching Stranger Things very late, and as a result, I couldn't um, get my video up yesterday. I pretty much filmed it early morning today. And, I think it was close to about 2 a.m. when I went to sleep. And around 4, there was some animal, like maybe a dog, maybe a cat, and they were crying. And now they were probably crying outside the apartment, on on the street level, and this apartment's on the second floor. So there's at least you know 2 stages above where this animal maybe was, but it was so close. And the way the apartment's built, pretty much very long on one side, so it created this whole acoustic thing where the cry sounded very very loud, and this too at 4 a.m. So it was very, very scary. I definitely did get spooked last night, uh, because I was sleeping alone in a room, and just listening to just a very weird, almost not howling, not screeching, more like hooting, but at like various different pitches, and just going up and up and up until another dog in the background just barked, and this screaming, this howling, hooting pretty much stopped. So that was one thing that ended up happening. And so as a result, I think all of Sunday I did feel very drowsy, and thought about the fact that if my sleep does get disturbed for something that is not usual, right, not something like I have to go to the washroom or something like that, where because it happens so regularly, I pretty much do it and then come back and go back to sleep. um, if something odd happens, to something outside of the normal, are you able to actually go back to sleep? So I pretty much remember that, this happened around 4 a.m. After that, sure, I went to sleep, but I don't think my sleep was as restful as, it could have been. And I think, even when I woke up, and I woke up after, I want to say at least 8 hours of sleep, I still felt very tired, and definitely very worried about what animal it was, and whether the animal was doing fine or not. But yeah, so that was one thing. And so I did want to talk about this Super Sunday, about the fact that when something like rest does get disturbed, how do you cover for the disturbed rest, right, the disturbed sleep? Because a lot of times we aren't able to go back to the same level of sleep, right? I mean, even if I do end up going to the washroom, and I usually go to the washroom anywhere in between 2 a.m. and 5 a.m., most of the time it's usually closer to the 5 a.m. mark. And then when I go back to sleep, usually I'm pretty much awake, and I'm trying to sleep all the way up until my alarm is about to ring, and that's when the sleep actually hits. So this is one thing that I did want to discuss with everyone, and definitely gauge everyone's reactions, everyone's comments, everyone's inputs and insights on how do you recover from any disturbance in your rest time, right, when you're sleeping. Maybe when you're, just sort of lying down for that matter, and you have to get back up. How do you go back to the same state that you were beforehand, right? Or how long does it take to get to that level again? Because a lot of times I would say that my sleep is pretty much you know based off when I actually wake up in the middle of the night to use the restroom. Because if it's later on in the evening, or later, I mean, early morning, let's say 5:30, sometimes, if I'm lucky, I'll even wake up at around 6 to use the restroom, in which case, it's pretty much morning time for me. Um, what do you end up doing to pretty much recover some of the sleep that you were having? Because a lot of times you have the best, most restful sleep before you're pretty much woken up. So do share your comments, do share your insights, and definitely do put them all in the comment section so that we can get the conversation started, and definitely I can gain a few new things to try, so that when I do go to sleep, I actually do have much more restful sleep than I normally get, which of course don't I want to say is maybe not long enough. But with that being said, thank you so much for watching. I hope you had a great weekend. I know I certainly did. Visit my cousin. Do want to tell them that I love them. Um, and of course, to all of you, yes, I hope you had a great weekend. Good night, and let's hope that the holiday tidings are coming in next week, so that there is reduced work for the entirety of next week. Bye.